Can we skip the small talk? Lately, I've noticed I no longer feel interested in performing conversation for the sake of filling silence. And I think people can feel that shift in me. At dinners, in friend groups, at work events, family gatherings. The other night, I was at a work event sitting next to someone I'd met once or twice. They mentioned the last time we met, I had spoken with their daughter about sustainable fashion at length. I have absolutely no memory of this conversation. What I did was launch right into talking about carcinogens, scented candles, endocrine disruptors, microplastics, and declining sperm count, trying to lead her daughter into something new, something innovative. But apparently that's where my mind goes now. They nodded politely and told me they'd pass the information along because their daughter had recently graduated and was looking for new things. At the end of the dinner, I apologized. I said, "Sorry, I realized I had gotten very deep very fast." They laughed and they told me they appreciated that I skipped straight to the point. That interaction stayed with me because I've noticed people often remember conversations with me that I completely forget. I think it's because I tend to bypass a few steps. Not intentionally, I just get excited. I hear a thread, I see a pattern, I connect a few dots, and suddenly we're talking about how scented candles might be poisoning us all. It's a gift and a challenge. Some people are ready for those conversations. Some people were hoping to discuss the weather. What surprised me recently was how energized I felt at the Eastern Academy of Management conference. For the first time in a long time, I found myself in rooms where I didn't need to translate the way I think. People were asking about my research, engaging with ideas, debating concepts, exploring possibilities. Not everyone fully understood my work coming from the fashion industry, but there was depth, curiosity, inquiry. I lived realizing something important. I don't think I crave attention. I think I crave engagement. And those are very different things. My mother said something to me recently that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She said, "I was wondering when you were going to outgrow your current company." Now, my mother doesn't usually drop philosophical one-liners like that, but she was right, because I don't think I'm becoming more introverted. I think I'm becoming more selective with my energy. I've noticed a quiet withdrawal over the past few years. Not because I dislike people, not because I think I'm smarter than anyone, but because I can feel when a conversation has the potential to go somewhere and when it's simply filling space. Silence has become interesting to me. Silence is endurance. I am enduring spaces that I no longer fit into. Not because they're bad, not because the people are bad, but because growth sometimes creates distance before it creates direction. One of the reasons I love dancing and drumming is because they allow for connection without all the words, presence without performance, community without constant explanation, participation without needing to prove yourself through language. And lately I've been thinking a lot about community, what it means, how it changes, what we ask of it. I recently received an email from someone who read Guided by Community. One line especially stayed with me. She wrote, "Presence and humility can coexist without requiring me to suppress myself." I read that sentence several times because I think that's exactly what many of us are trying to learn. How to take up space without domination. How to contribute without carrying everything. How to remain visible without becoming responsible for everyone's experience. For a long time, I thought leadership meant being the one with the answers, the facilitator, the organizer, the teacher, the person holding the microphone. Lately, I'm not so sure. I think I'm becoming more interested in creating spaces where other people can discover their own answers, where participation is shared, where curiosity moves in multiple directions, where community becomes reciprocal. Maybe that's why I'm sharing videos like this. Not because I need to constantly broadcast my life, but because this format allows people to witness without demanding performance from either side. There is space here, space to reflect, space to observe, space to think, space to simply accompany one another for a moment. As I prepare to step away from academia, I'm realizing that I haven't fallen out of love with learning. Quite the opposite. I'm simply outgrown the container where I've been doing it. Teaching, being a student, living semester to semester. Those chapters taught me exactly what I needed to know. Now I want to see what happens when I take everything I've learned and carve my own path. More presenting, more writing, more creating, more conversations that leave room for surprise. I don't fully know what comes next. I don't know exactly what Guided By becomes. A book, workshop, a game, a discussion, a choose your own adventure, maybe all of the above. But I know I'm becoming less interested in being the main character and more interested in setting the stage, creating spaces where people can arrive together, think together, question together, grow together. So for now, I'm listening more, speaking more intentionally, protecting my energy, seeking resonance, and learning that discernment is not isolation, it's alignment. And maybe that's what community means to me right now.